Good Erev Shabbos. I want to thank David Barnes for the comment on the recent video. I think didn't I go to I thought I went to school with David Barnes. I'm not sure. Anyway, thank you for your very kind words. And I'll say I am a naive person, but so it's nice to talk to someone who's not naive. I'll get a better perspective on things. I believe I think it's a little bit of a school to make a video right after the mikveh. It's a certain siyata d'shmaya that you have with that. So the question of debating with people over atheism and creationism, which are two different topics. And what are my answers? And you say you've watched all my videos. I think I've touched on these issues in other videos before, and I can say that my views personally have changed over the years to the point where not that my actual views have changed, my actual hashkafas have changed. I'm still personally a creationist, and definitely, without question, a very bold theist. I've mentioned many times the story that my Rebbe, the Kalva Rebbe Shlita, tells about Reb Uri from Strelisk, and that there were two Hasidim. They had lost their Rebbe, and they were looking for a new Rebbe, and they came to Reb Uri, the seraph, the fiery dragon from Strelisk, Reb Uri, and the holy tzaddik. And he asked them, he said, do you believe in Hashgacha Pratis? Do you believe, I know you know what that means, David, but I'll say for everybody, do you believe in divine providence? And they said, of course we believe in Hashgacha Pratis. We're Orthodox Jews, what kind of question is that? So then he said, so do you believe, he said, come look out the window. Do you believe that it was predetermined from Sheishis Yemei Bereshis, from the 6 days of creation, that this wagon that's passing by our window right now, that it was already predetermined from heaven that this wagon should pass by right now, and that the straw that's on the wagon, bundles of straw, that God's providence decides exactly where, and decided from the 6 days of creation, where each grain, where each piece of straw should be, which one should be on top of the other, which one should be under the other, which one should be to the left, which one should be to the right, and which one should fall off of the wagon at exactly which time, in exactly which place. And they said, that's a little far-fetched. And so he said, get out of here. I can't look at your face. You're apikoursim. You're heretics. You're atheists. And they were very broken by hearing that. And they came back. They thought about it. And they said, you know what? Of course, for a human being, gold is very valuable. And silver is less valuable. It's still very valuable. And you go down, copper is also valuable, but less than silver. And you keep going till you get to like a piece of paper that nobody cares about. That's of almost no value to it. And then a piece of lint, that nobody cares about. Maybe some people do, but they, batal datek etzel koladim. Just because someone's a Michiganer doesn't mean that their opinion is of what he value. So So then we get to the Kadosh Baruch Hu, to the Almighty. Well, what's gold, and what's silver, and what's lint, and what's anything, what's paper, and what's straw? It's all the same. And so therefore, it makes perfect sense that God should have hashgacha pratis. He should have direct divine providence over every aspect of creation. And we often hear that the founders of America were deists. And of course they were deists. They weren't mere deists. They were deists and they were also theists. I mean, there's no question that George Washington believed in divine providence. That was whenever he made reference to the Creator, whenever he made reference to the Almighty, he always referred to the Almighty as providence. In general, not always, can't say always, but most of the time, providence. That was the term that he used. And he said that there's been no people in the history, like I mentioned in the video earlier today, that there's been no people in history who have, been blessed with such providence. What is that? Brake system. Where'd that come from? As the American people. It's also providence. Whatever's going on with my brakes. I don't see anything wrong with my brakes. Well, I guess they're a little... I just got the brakes fixed. So... where was I holding? It's like this with these issues with the divine providence, with faith. What do we believe in? Why do we believe what we believe? I work as a chaplain, but then the other, that's one side. The other side is, do we have tolerance for others, and do others have tolerance for us? And most of the time, what's called in America the right, which I believe to be the classical liberals, they don't care, if you're what someone else does. Just let me be me, But the left, they want to control everything. Services on that door, I can't even see. Who's this? This is Science von Insider, isn't it? This is Moshe. Moshe, du bist du? Good Shabbos. Was macht man? Baruch Hashem, can you come to shul? Are you up to walking tomorrow? You don't think so? You can't make it.
I was here the last time.
Yeah.
I was there, but I couldn't come home. I came home and said, that's it, this is the last time that I'm doing it. I can't also.
I'm sorry. And you're just here yourself? Yeah, that's what I mean with the minion. Yeah. Maybe we could get a guy to push you in a wheelchair. We could. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I think can you make sure Sasha comes, because he's number 10. He's here. Sasha.
Is he already?
I don't know if he's here yet, but if you see him later, you talk to him, tell him he's number 10. We need him. Especially if you can't make it, So.
I'll tell him.
Yeah.
Is Moshe here?
No, he was here last Shabbos. We had Minyan last Shabbos, but he was here. He's not here now. I think he said he's not coming to Shabbos, but we had like 15 people last Shabbos, because like a bunch of Bukhrim came we didn't expect, like from Queens and New Jersey, like Teaneck. They were all here for Shabbos, but I know Sasha's here. He's come. I don't know. He's usually not here yet. He comes later usually, but
Tell him, what time is that minute?
no, just Shachris tomorrow.
Shachris tomorrow.
Yeah, I would like to have, but I don't think we're having tonight. Yeah, so tomorrow you also can't make it. Even tomorrow, it's too much. You'll see. Yeah.
I did last time.
Yeah.
I was laying home. I went home sick. I was screaming. I told you.
The guy with the stecken doesn't help. Oh, the back.
Left.
Take
it easy. It's all right.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay without you. You don't have to worry. As long as he comes. Good Shabbos. It's good to see you. Are you going to be here Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday.
So maybe we might have. I don't know yet how many are around, but we probably should have Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah. Maybe Motzei Shabbos too. Maybe. Maybe call the rabbi. Yeah, last week we did Marv 9:00, but the people didn't come, so I don't know if we're gonna have or not. So there's no way to know. Yeah. All right, good Shabbos. Good to see you. We're happy you're here. Good Shabbos. So then this with the Sasha's here yet? Not yet. So we're talking about Hashgacha. I'm sorry, I should have paused the video. Anyway, where are we holding with our beliefs? What kind of Jews are we? What do we believe in already? But the thing is, can we accept that someone else believes different than we believe? Like I said, I'm a chaplain, and I oversee all the different religions. And in my opinion, I told this, we had someone today I talked to, because I have someone, I have to see what their religious preferences. One of the options is a Satanist. One of the options is atheist. All the different options they give us. So is he here? He's probably not going to come either. So the one guy, sometimes if they leave and they come back, we have to do it twice. We have to ask them again, you still what you were last year, type of thing. So one guy, he had this kind of a Jewish sounding name. He's an atheist. I didn't ask him if he's Jewish or not. To me, if he's an atheist, he's not Jewish. I don't care if his mother's Jewish or not, really. But and the same thing. I mean, people say Meir Kahane was a racist. Meir Kahane always said, the answer he gave when people accused him of being a racist, and I don't agree with Meir Kahane on other things, but when people accused him of being racist, he said if Arafat became converted to Judaism tomorrow, he'd be just as Jewish as Kahane. It's true. So I care if someone's mother's Jewish or not. I mean, he had a different thing with Ahavas Yisrael, but really Ahavas Yisrael, when you study the Mekayros, when you study Chazal, it's Kamoicha B'Torah Mitzvahs. It's not just someone's born Jewish. It's funny how all the same people who say, "Oh, this guy can't be a Rebbe," but just because his father was a Rebbe, he's a Rebbe. But when it comes to someone being, and what does yichus mean? It doesn't mean anything. You hear that from people, and then the same people that say, "Oh, every Jew is holy. Every Jew is holy." Ba'amich kulam tzadikim. it doesn't just mean someone was a Jewish mother. It can't mean like that because it's not fair to them. Because not everybody wants to be like that. So anyway, and the thing is, but when they do tshuva, they're back to being Yidden. That's not what I'm saying. So I'm talking to this guy. I don't care if he's Jewish or not. He says he's an atheist. I told him, as far as I'm concerned, I'm the head of the chaplaincy department. As far as I'm concerned, you are no different than anybody else. I respect your religious views just like I respect anybody else's religious views. We do not currently have a group for your community, but if you wanted to, in your community, wanted to make a request to have a volunteer come in and teach you ethical humanism, secular humanism, and they're going to teach you ethics and morals, I don't mean that they're going to teach you to hate religious people. They're going to teach you ethics and morals from a secular, humanistic standpoint. You have just as much a right, and I will do what I can to find a volunteer who will come and provide this service for you. And the reason I say that as a prison chaplain is, if someone's an atheist and they think laced in, laced dying, they don't have to do anything because they don't have to answer to anybody. So why would they? What are they going to do in their life? But if they learn, they have to respect the rule of law. And there's a reason to be ethical and moral, even if you don't believe in anything supernatural. Like I said, in New York State, when we did the spirituality groups, we would say that that spirituality means whatever makes your life meaningful. It doesn't have to be supernatural. Just whatever makes your life meaningful. So, again, I believe in the supernatural. How you doing, son? You want to take the cereal in the house?
Ooh, Oreo cereal.
Yeah, I got that for you because I know you would like it. So, yes, it's kosher. So that's my answer. If I can show, you gain respect by showing respect to others. And the thing is that when you have to also be honest. When somebody says, son, you want to bring the soda in the house? You don't have to. When somebody says, oh, religion's the cause of all wars, you can point out to them that atheists have killed more people than all the religious people put together. You can bring this in the house. Thank you. Love you. The Marxists, the communists, are the biggest murderers. So certainly, but on the other hand, there's a natural human desire for church or synagogue or mosque type of atmosphere. And so people, they do get together. They have Society for Ethical Humanism, where they get together and they sing hymns and they listen to a sermon. They don't believe in anything. And why should I treat them any differently than I treat a Buddhist or a Wiccan? I might not agree with their theology, but if it's making their life better, I always say this is not a house. I say this is not a house of punishment; it's a house of correction. And if what you believe in, you find a way to make your life better according to your beliefs, I'm here to support that. That's my job. The other thing I said to, we had somebody. He told me he's Jewish, and now a month later he wants to be Catholic. And we're only supposed to change that once every 6 months. So not enough time has passed for him to change it. Maybe he's Jewish, maybe he's not, I don't know. But I told one of my coworkers who I supervise, the deacon, I told him, I don't care if the one guy who has a long beard and wears a black yarmulke all the time and tzitzis, if he converts to Catholicism, it's none of my business. I'm a chaplain. I'm here in this institution as a chaplain, not as a rabbi. I serve the Jews as a rabbi, but I serve the. But I can't boss anybody around. And if somebody decides they don't want to be Jewish anymore, it's none of my business. So that's the world we live in. So as far as creationism, I've always loved listening to creationism. Always enjoyed that area of apologetics, whether from Christians or from Jews. From Jews, you really only had it from Rev. Victor Miller. Everybody else, they're trying to fit evolution into Torah. And Rabbi Miller said, no, you can go to the Creation Institute in Texas and get from Ken Ham or whatever, He made the ham kosher. And obviously not his Christological teachings, but his creationist teachings. The thing is that really the truth is, for Christianity, it's a much bigger issue than it is for Judaism. And so I don't believe that someone who believes in a theistic form of evolution and believes it was guided by Hashgacha Pratis, if someone believes like that, I don't believe they're not Bikuris. And the thing is, the stories that Gerald Schroeder say, Genesis and the Big Bang, very interesting. I don't even really understand it so well, but it's not it's definitely not Kfira. It's based in Torah. It's based in Chazal, but it's Lav Davka also. We can also go by Pshuta Shel Mikra. Don't have to go Al Derech Drush. It doesn't really matter. What matters for us as Jews really is, do we believe in Yud Gimel Ikrim? Do we follow halacha? And when we don't follow halacha, do we do tshuva? And that's what matters. The rest is optional. I personally believe one way. I personally have a certain hashkafa, but I cannot say, as much as it pains me and maybe even annoys me, that someone who has a different hashkafa in an Indian that's not one of the Yud Gimel Ikrim, not one of the 13 principles of faith, which colloquially we could call dogmas in Judaism. And even that is a big question. You have a Sefer Ikrim says there are only 3 dogmas, not 13. But really all the 13 fit into the 3, so it's not so, everyone agrees that these are 13 kosher Jewish ideas, but are they Ikrim? Are they dogmas? It's generally accepted in the Orthodox world, these are our dogmas. And it's proper to accept like that. And so as long as someone is not violating one of the Yud Gimel Ikrim, then they're achicha, they're kameicha b'torah mitzvahs. They believe that they're mechuyev in the mitzvahs, whether or not they always keep them. They believe that it's what they're supposed to do. And Zefir Zech Yiddish, it's there's a lot to talk about. And that's what I say about the reform, because they're kofer on Termin Shemayim, they're kofer on Tchis HaMesim, then they're not achicha. could still be friends with them, though. We just like we can be friends with Christians and Muslims and Buddhists, we can be friends with the Reform. But we have to. Why is it so important to them that we have to see them as fellow Jews? You know, the Catholics see Protestants as fellow Christians, and the Catholics don't see Mormons as fellow Christians, but they still can be friendly to Mormons. And even a Catholic bishop in Salt Lake City can say a few nice words when the prophet of the Mormons dies and say what a fine person he was. And even Lubavitch Shliach in Salt Lake City can do the same thing. Even though it's not so posh in halacha to do something like that, but derech eretz kadmon l'Torah. Medaf führen sich menschlich. You know, like how Dennis Prager says, if he's talking to a transgender person, even if he disagrees with the whole thing, he'll still refer to them according to their preferred gender, because it's menschlich. Even though he harshly disagrees with the whole idea. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please. And I know people who are transgender, and I'm friendly with them, and I treat them. I had it at my Pesach Seder, a transgender person. I treat everybody the same. You don't. You know. You have to, as much as we might not be happy with the way things are, we have to live in the world. We can be in the world and not of the world, and still be menschlich, still make a Kiddush Hashem. It's very important not to be an extremist. Be an extremist. If you want to be extreme for sich allein. You want chumras, be machmir for yourself. Machmir tov elav bracha. Machalach. But the machalach, masker the bastik. But this, but to be machmir for someone else, you know, to run out, be a dominion. In the Rav Paskins, you can count the cotton b'di'evet because of shas dachak, and you run out because you got to be firmer than everybody else. That's not menschlich. It's a chutzpah. My Rosh Yeshiva, so gesund sein shefur shleima. He said, if you don't hold that you can daven mincha after shkia, but someone needs you for a minyan, mincha after shkia, you go be the 10th for the minyan, because they have all malismech. So you want to be machmir tov elav bracha, but don't rob other Jews of the schia of hearing kedusha. You know, Ben Shalom should help us. We should be matzliach, and we should see be a school. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment to our best.